Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you are brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for another speed build. And as you can tell from the title, this build is for a professor, more so a professor and his family. And even though I'm building it in Willow Creek, right next to the Pancakes house, oddly enough, it actually does belong in Brightchester for my save file. It's going to be going on one of the lots that originally had a brownstone, I believe. Now, I don't remember if it's the brownstone where the Pleasants lived or if it was the brownstone where the Elderberry family lived. I think that's where the Elderberries lived, right? And hopefully that's the actual last name. I honestly can't remember. I've never looked at them in my entire life, but they're most likely not going to be in the save file. At least not mine, just because I have like no connection to them, but I'll probably keep the Pleasants in there because I love them and I love their whole story. Maybe I'll make their whole family. I haven't really decided yet, but this house will actually end up on one of those lots. And I kind of went for like this softer wood color scheme, and it was really uncomfortable for me. I'm not even gonna lie. It was really uncomfortable, and this house kind of looks a little odd to me. The interior was really challenging. All in all, this is actually a build that I was kind of uncomfortable with just in its entirety, and I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I had like a particular vision in mind, and I kind of brought it to fruition. I think like it's really hard to articulate, and I don't know why I feel so uneasy about it, but the end result, like when I was looking at the screenshots, I was like, you know what? This is okay. I think it's actually okay. I like the colors on the exterior. I really like the landscaping, and the interior ended up being really homey and cozy, at least in my opinion. So hopefully you guys agree. But as you can see, I am working on the landscaping now, and I used maybe like 4 or 5 different plants, and I kind of stuck with them because I didn't want it to be kind of like too chaotic with a bunch of different plants being like underlying plants or kind of like being overgrown. But I did use those particular plants that came with cats and dogs, which I really like, and I typically shy away from using them outside of Brindleton Bay. Just I have it in my mind that they can only be used in the world that they came in, but that is entirely not true. So I kind of have to push myself and get out of that little, I don't know, comfort zone and use them in other worlds as well. And I also used the hollylocks, which are my favorite plant slash flower in the game ever. Like, I absolutely love them. And I love sizing them up at least once so they look just really big and inviting, and I don't know, they kind of bring like a certain energy, and I don't know if I'm going too deep here. I mean, they're just freaking plants, but I just think they're really, really beautiful. And then I try to work out the back of this build. So I really struggled with the back. I didn't really know what I wanted the layout to be. And in fact, I do the back because I kind of gave a run at the floor plan prior to doing so. So when you guys see me do the floor plan, it was something that I had kind of already worked out because it was really challenging. This build in the front has a lot of windows, and I didn't want it to look odd with like random windows placed on random parts of the build, like on the exterior, in the back, or on the sides. So I kind of had to work out exactly what the floor plan was going to be prior to placing all of those windows. Like, there's just so many that it actually restricted the way in which I could lay out the floor plan. So hopefully you guys kind of don't mind that when we go inside and I do the floor planning. It comes together pretty quickly because it was predetermined. You'll also notice that this build has a lot of like chimneys and smokestacks, and that's because I couldn't think of any other decoration, any other exterior feature to add to this build. So hopefully you guys don't mind. I actually love putting multiple chimneys and smokestacks. You don't see it a lot, so I just really enjoy doing it. And other than that, I can't really pinpoint why, but I really liked it. So hopefully you guys do like it as well. And now we go on to the interior. And I also noticed that this interior's floor plan was very similar to a build I recently did on the channel that I called a good home, I think, or a good family home or something like that. The layout, at least on the first floor, is almost identical in a lot of ways. I think this build is a little bit bigger than that. So this ends up being a only 2-bedroom, but I believe 3-bathroom. And that's only because there is an office in this build, which could absolutely be a 3rd bedroom if you so choose to. if that's even proper grammar. Wow, that was atrocious. If you so wish, you can make that into a bedroom. There we go. And the first thing I try to do is sort out the flooring and the wallpapers. I did want it to be very cozy and bright, so I chose this wood paneling floor from Cats and Dogs, which I don't think I've ever used it in this bright of a swatch, but I thought it worked really nicely with the fireplace, which, well, also came with Cats and Dogs, and kind of the stonework in the windows that I ended up using, as well as the front door. So I was trying to match the wood tones to be a little bit brighter, but at the same time, the brightness is somewhat muted, which was really, that's what made it really cozy, in my opinion. So I don't know, you guys will have to let me know if you agree with that, because you could go with like a really bright orange wood and it's just really energetic and loud, but this one just seems very soft. That's how I feel, at least. Like if I had these wood tones, it would just be very soft and calming. So that's kind of what I was going for. But I end up putting a TV here in front of this fireplace, and typically I'll knock out the wall and use a wall-mounted TV. But I realized I was able to use the Shift 9 key and just raise that TV that actually has a stand and cover that mirror. So that was kind of nice. That was really good to kind of figure out, because I hate removing the wall and having to put it back and, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's just a little tedious. And I use these really nice cozy armchairs. Well, they don't have arms, but I'm just going to call them armchairs from Cats and Dogs as well. And I used that base game couch that you can unlock with, I think it's the Painter Career, which sounds odd, but I don't remember. It's a career unlock, so I obviously have like all my cheats on, so I was able to use it. And it was a healthy mix of Cats and Dogs, Discover University, and just a handful of other packs that went into this. I typically don't do pack restricted builds, and when I do, I make it very apparent. So this isn't pack restricted in any way, but it was kind of challenging to ensure that the wood tones worked with one another. And I didn't want it to get like too peachy, like literally the color peach. I didn't want to get too peachy. I didn't want it to get too like yellowy. I wanted it to be muted, and it was so hard for me. It was just so hard. But this is basically just a little console table near the half bathroom that is downstairs. Actually, it may be a full bathroom. I can't recall. It may be a full bathroom on the other side of that door there, but then through that other archway is going to be the dining room. And I was picturing that this family has just one child. So that's what the second bedroom is. It's just a one-child bedroom. And I actually created the family for this home already as well. And I really like them. If you guys do want to see what they look like and kind of learn a little bit more about them, just let me know and I'll absolutely post it somewhere. Also, I need to make sure that I post the screenshots of the Weasley family, because I did make the Weasleys when I posted my build of the burrow the other day, like earlier in the week, or was it last week at this point? Now I can't even remember, but yeah, I did make the Weasleys, so I have to remember to post the screenshots that I took of them inside of their home, because there were a few people that were asking for them, and I'm really excited to kind of show them off. I'm not that great at remaking people in The Sims. Like, I'm not very good with facial features and facial structures and stuff like that, so I did my best, and hopefully you guys enjoy them, because I might pop them onto the gallery for you guys to download if you want. But now I'm trying to work out what to put behind this couch. I struggled for a long time in this living room because I just couldn't figure out exactly what I wanted in it. I didn't want it to be like overcrowded with toys from the kiddo. I didn't want it to look as though this family just allowed clutter to kind of build up in their house, if that makes sense. I think they're a little bit more, I don't know any other way to say it, but like a little bit more put together. They're very much into presentation. They want their house to look very, very nice, because I would imagine that a professor may have important college officials over, like deans or something like that at some point, and they want their house to look very, very nice for when they have company. So I ended up just putting the painting easel and the chess table back here, so they have a couple of skill building items. And then I move on to the dining room, which is a little small, but I did play test this, and every single chair can be sat in by your Sims. And I do really like the kind of accent color that I ended up choosing that follows through the rest of the build, and that is this kind of like pale blue from these chairs from Discover University. And I just really, really liked it. I thought it softened things up perfectly. Like, it pretty much wrapped up the look I was going for, and I don't know, just kind of that theme, which I've probably said theme about 7 times now. Probably said like I don't know, color palette like 4 times. Clearly I'm running out of words to say. And I also used these photos from Discovery University because, well, I think that this professor either teaches at Brightchester or Foxbury. I mean, it could be either, but I was mainly thinking Brightchester because I just feel as though it's more like traditionally collegiate, and I feel as though that's what this professor is, if that makes any sense. Like Foxbury Institute is much more modernized. It's not the traditional kind of like academia setting, whereas Brightchester has like a lot of history and maybe that's a little bit more traditional. I don't really know. But now I'm working on the bathroom downstairs, and it actually does end up being I think only a half bathroom. Yeah, I think it's a half bath, so maybe it's like a 2.5 bath build, if my memory is serving me correctly. And it was kind of challenging to come up with something a little bit different for the bathroom. I wanted it to look nice, but not overly fancy. And I end up kind of changing up the color scheme a little bit for the bathrooms. For the most part, they're fairly identical. Maybe the kids' bathroom, or the bathroom that the child mainly uses, I should say, is a little bit different because I think I chose the shower tub combo from Parenthood that has all of the different like cool shower curtains and stuff like that. I think maybe there's like a dinosaur like bath mat, so there are some kid accents to it, but the color scheme for the most part is pretty similar in all of the bathrooms, especially the one that the parents end up using upstairs. And I did add a couple of different accents in this bathroom since I felt like I had the space, so I chose a full-length mirror, a plant, and I kind of pushed this hamper into the wall a little bit more just to ensure that it didn't interfere with your Sim's ability to get to the toilet or the sink. And it didn't. It was perfect. And now I'm working on the kitchen. Again, this is very similar to one of my most recent builds where the kitchen is like right when you walk inside the home, and it's right off to the kind of the corner. And I ended up being able to use these Realm of Magic countertops. I love them, but I don't build enough builds. Like I don't make enough things that I feel these countertops can really work with. So I was really excited to be able to use them here because I thought that the color that they were really matched the appliances, and that really blended well with the paneling wallpaper that I chose. And just all in all, I thought it worked really, really nicely. And I ended up having more space in this area than I anticipated. So what I end up doing is on the other side of that little kind of one tile wall to frame the fridge a little bit, I actually do put a small informal dining space, and I believe it only has 3 seats, which is perfect because it's only for the family members, of which there are 3, so it's kind of ideal. And there's also a small coffee bar with like an espresso machine and all that cool stuff, because I know for myself, because I am a college instructor, I need a lot of coffee. Like I need a lot of coffee all the time to get through grading and reading and just engaging with my students and all that fun stuff. So coffee's a must. It is a necessary fuel to get the job done. And I was thinking that maybe the professor's actually a little bit of a coffee snob. So, and I just kind of create the coffee bar over here. And then I end up pulling out that debug bag of like coffee beans. I was going to kind of cover the entire counter with them at one point, but I ended up just placing 2 of them and then pulling out this mug rack from Base Game, which I so wish had different swatches. I can't even tell you how badly I wish we had different swatches of that mug rack, because the mugs don't really fit the family I was envisioning here at all, and I want like just different colors and stuff like that, but that's beside the point. Here's the little dining space, and I end up just placing the 3 chairs like I mentioned, and then just hanging some artwork. It's very simply decorated. It's nothing crazy. And I end up putting these chandeliers throughout the entire build as well, just because I think the house is a little bit more fancy than maybe some others. And the landing space in this build upstairs on the 2nd floor is so weird. I'm not even gonna lie. You guys can tell at this point that I'm not entirely comfortable with this build. Like, the landing space is really awkward, but I wanted to make sure that the professor, which I keep saying the professor as if I don't already know who this is, it's actually the mom in this family. And I wanted her to be able to have an office, like all to herself. And it was just really hard to kind of work that out with ensuring that the master bedroom was big enough to really kind of look like a master bedroom and not be really cramped. And I wanted the kiddo to have enough space too in their room. And I don't know, it was really hard. It was a really hard floor plan upstairs. And if I went back to it, I may change it a little bit, but at the same time, it took a long time to figure it out, so I may just stick with it. But I also use this Realm of Magic 4-poster bed, which I adore. I absolutely love it so much, and I don't use it enough. So I was really excited to use it here because I thought the swatch really matched kind of like that light pastel color palette that I have going on here. And I end up actually giving them a fireplace in their bedroom as well, which I thought was really nice. And Mom has a vanity, and then there is just another, I think there's another dresser, or I end up putting a couch or something there because I really didn't know what to put there. I was kind of at a loss. I give them like a standing mirror to kind of check themselves out before they head out the door. They have at least one dresser, and I think most of the bookcases I tried were just a little too clunky, like they kind of stuck out of the wall too much. So I end up putting, I believe, a love seat there and just like a plant or something because I had to fill the space and I didn't know how to do it. But all in all, their bedroom actually really isn't that cluttered either. It's very simply decorated in my opinion. And I thought that worked really nicely because the stained glass on top of this 4-poster bed, I thought added enough character and just a little bit more of a diversified look to the room where I didn't have to clutter it up too much or hang too much artwork. So that was at least my take on it, but I do clutter up the dresser a little bit. I do add just like a plant and some folded clothes and some perfume bottles and stuff like that. And then I just add a couple of small paintings above the side tables, and then I work on the office. So there are these 2 bookcases from Discover University, and they have a desk and a computer and just like an armchair in the corner with a lamp so they can sit there and maybe read or just kind of theorize about things. I don't know. I don't know what kind of professor this particular sim is. I was thinking that, at least in the lens of like the career, I think they're pretty high in the career. I think they're like 6 or 7, I want to say. So, you know, they're almost at the top of the career, and I made them a young adult. Like my idea was that they've basically excelled, like the youngest professor that Brightchester has ever had. But I wasn't sure, for the sake of storytelling, what subject she taught. Maybe it was like political science or, I don't know, something actually STEM related more so. Maybe like robotics. I don't know. I know that's more of like the Foxbury side of things, just with them being more of like a STEM futuristic campus. But yeah, maybe it was like something STEM related. Maybe it was writing. Like I have no idea yet. I'll kind of have to think that through. But the office came together pretty quickly. I end up popping downstairs just to give them that record player in the living room for when they entertain. And I also use this really small kind of like old school radio thing and put it on top of one of the bookcases so she can listen to music while she's grading or conducting research or writing papers. And I add a few more details down in the living room before I move on to the bathrooms, which I did not want to leave for last. It's, in my opinion, so boring to leave the bathrooms for last. I do it all the time, so that's probably why I feel that way. Like, that's typically how I approach things, but I tried to get them out of the way before moving on to the final bedroom. And they actually do have laundry in this build too, so if you don't like playing with laundry, or if you don't have laundry, that's perfect. You can either remove it if you don't want to play with it, or if you don't have laundry, I don't believe you'd really be missing out on any of the other build and buy objects, so you just wouldn't have this laundry area, which would be perfectly fine. But they do have a stacked washer and dryer, and then there's like a small hamper in this bathroom. It's a little bit of an awkward layout just because I did end up making one of those chimneys the spot where the shower tub combo went, and the kids' bathroom is really long. And it doesn't have that little divot. So it was kind of challenging at first because I was like, oh no, there's 2 windows here and they're perfectly placed where I can't put that shower tub combo without blocking the window. And at first I was going to power through it and just say it's fine. But then I could find no curtain that could cover that window without clipping into the shower tub combo. So I kind of flipped it. And I made it a really awkward layout. At least in my opinion, this is so awkward, but I ended up sticking with it. So like I said, there are a couple of like kid accents here. So there's like a little nightlight. There's the little spaceship like wastebasket. The shower tub combo has the baseball shower curtain. There's like a little picture of a rocket. I mean, just random kid accents, just so you guys are aware that this is where the kid goes. That was basically my thought. And the kiddo's bedroom is super blue. I don't know why I was on a blue kick in this build, but I really do enjoy it. This is, I won't say it's one of my favorite kids' rooms. I tend to kind of gravitate towards kids' rooms more than anything in builds. I just think they're so fun, and we have a decent amount of objects to make them really unique and cluttered and messy, and to me that's super fun and realistic. But I do really like this kids' room. I liked using this little wallpaper with the fish trim, and those curtains I think are from my first pet stuff, and I just really enjoy those as well. I thought they matched really nicely, and this kiddo has a desk but no computer. I don't like giving kids the computers in their rooms unless maybe they're teens, but he also has a little chemistry set because I think that he is a total and complete brainiac. He really takes after his mom in that sense. And to talk about the dad a little bit too, dad actually, well, he's a little bit of a moocher. I'm going to be real. He's a little bit of a moocher, though he is a very successful chef, like really successful. He's a little bit lazy and he doesn't engage with his family very often. So their son really gravitates towards his mom. And honestly, their marriage is kind of sort of on the rocks. And I'm basically leaving them in my save file saying, are they going to make it? Like, are they going to be able to fix their marriage? Are they going to be able to become like this family unit? Is her success actually something that he envies? Trying to come up with kind of a unique dynamic there. But here we are in the backyard, and I'm just working out the landscaping. And since the backyard was so small, and it will be the same on the lot that it's actually placed in for my save, I'm not able to add too much, but there is a little outside seating area. And there is also a set of monkey bars for the kiddo to be able to play a little bit in the backyard. But it's not heavily decorated. There's like a flower arranging station, and that's pretty much it for the build. So I hope that you guys did enjoy this. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts, and I will catch you guys next time I post a video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!
Someone to save me, no, and don't come running to blame me. From miles away I can tell that something's off. The way you look and how you pause when you talk, I think I said enough. You said your love for me something brand new. You said this is something you would never do. Here we are in your car. Let me see who you are, who you really are. Yeah. Don't need you here to say you're sorry, 'cause if you're gonna leave me, then just do it. Don't take it slow, don't be gentle. No, I just gotta know, if you're gonna leave me, then just do it. Let's be honest for a second. Yeah, you're being over your head, babe. 'Cause there is no one other than me that can make you feel the way you feel when I hold you. I think I said enough. You said your love for me something brand new. You said this is something you would never do. Here we are in your car. Let me see who you are, who you really are. Yeah. Don't need you here to say you're sorry, 'cause if you're gonna leave me, then just do it. Don't take it to say